I'd like to welcome everyone to today's working session of the Rockland Board of Sewer Commissioners. Today's meeting is being videotaped for playback later on WRPS and YouTube. The listings of matters of those reasonably anticipated by the chair that may be discussed. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. With that, I'll take a motion to open the meeting.
Motion to open the meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Ms. Valley?
Yes.
And Mr. Hessian is a yes. I have before me the minutes of March 28th for approval of the working session. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Ms. Valley?
Yes.
And Mr. Hessian's a yes. That's unanimous. We'll go a little out of order here today. We have Gene DeSilva in from 335 Beach Street, who wanted to come in and just explain his project, but I would like to just go on record and tell you, this is just a general discussion, no vote, no approval. You are aware there is a sewer moratorium in town for connection. So why don't you tell us a little bit of what you want to do, because I have to admit, I'm confused with the number of drawings I've received. So, Jay, the floor is yours.
So what we're looking to do is build do an addition for an in-law with the kitchen, a bedroom, and a bathroom to the bottom level of the existing structure.
My apology, because this is not the project I thought it was, so please go ahead, 335.
It's just 600 square feet. I mean, we're just gonna be building some frost walls and basically not too much to it.
Okay, so you're gonna be having a kitchen,
A kitchen and a
bathroom,
bathroom.
and a bedroom.
And a bedroom, yes.
Okay, how many bedrooms in the current house?
So the current house has 3 bedrooms and then it has a bonus room. Actually, I'm sorry, it has 4 bedrooms and a bonus room in the basement. 4 bedroom, 3 bedrooms in the first floor and 1 bedroom in the basement, I believe.
Okay, our requirement is that we can't approve anything more than 4 bedrooms, but this is an addition.
Right.
Okay, when we see, what I'm gonna ask you to do, as soon as you get some plans formalized with the house and some paperwork done, please get them to the board as soon as you can. That's the best advice I can give you. Right now, unless, Dan, do you have anything you wanna say?
No.
Sherry?
So it's 3 bedrooms existing currently.
Oh, it's 3
People
bedrooms.
living there?
Yes. Yes, so the whole thing is they have a handicapped daughter who has problems going up the stairs, so they wanna build something on the floor level that it's, a handicap bathroom and it's easy access for her, she doesn't have to go up the stairs and whatnot.
So you're adding 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay, what I would say is you just get us the plans as soon as you can, and the way, we're having a real problem with flow. I don't know if you kept up with the papers, just, if you can get your plans together as soon as you can and request a formal hearing for, connection approval. You already have a connection, so, but all you want is approval for the added bathroom.
For the added bathroom, yeah.
And that's how you should word it, okay? So, I'm seeking approval for a 1 bathroom, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom addition to an existing house,
Okay,
okay? That'll get you through the moratorium, no problem.
okay.
But, I have no problem with seeing you go ahead and get the building permit. Just have Robin tell us what you need for signatures, and I think we'll accommodate that.
Okay, so I do actually already have plans, I can most certainly get them emailed over.
Do me a favor, why don't you, get us those plans, submit them if you can, 3 copies. As soon as you can, we'll get you right on the agenda and get you, make a decision as quick as possible.
Okay,
Okay, thank you very much.
hey, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
What we wanted to do is make sure it wasn't beyond what we can handle right now, and this is, I think, well within our range.
Are you gonna have a cellar in this or crawl space?
I'm sorry?
On the addition, you gonna have a crawl space or?
No, slab. slab. It's gonna be built right on grade, so.
Is this next door to the dump racks?
It's right next door to the trailer park.
Okay, I know where you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Have a good day.
Well, since we did one, let's talk about another. I'd like to move on to 333 Weymouth Street. 333 Weymouth is the HVAC addition. There was some confusion on the initial application. He is only adding one bathroom. His entire, and total flow will be 375 gallons. Robin was concerned that he was going over the lateral. I didn't think from the print plans that I showed you guys last week that he was. I emailed him and I copied you on the email, but just to read it into the record. This is from Eric Schumacher, the engineer from McKenzie Engineering.
What's the date on
4/5/23.
it? Thank you.
Hi Chuck, as discussed, I have reviewed the grading and utility plan for 333, 343 Weymouth Street, I'll give you this, Sherry, Rockland. I can confirm that the proposed foundation for the new building will not be located over any or on any existing sewer lines or sewer components. There is an existing 18-inch storm drain pipe associated with the easement that will be relocated around the proposed addition as shown on the plans. And this, so you can attach that to the minutes or for the record. I showed you the fee schedule that we had of where it's an addition. He's just liable for the permit fee and the sewer remediation fee. 75 gallons total addition, that's $1,500. With the sewer tie-in permit, that's another $150. So his total fees that'll be due will be $1,650.
So, it was my understanding the sewer remediation only applies over 440
But
gallons?
we could have charged after that because in it is addition, you put them up to that. If we want to delay that, to delete that, we can.
So,
This was an addition on an existing building.
so this is, okay. I think my confusion is the way the form's laid out,
Yeah.
because we have this is being referred to as sewer repair and maintenance now?
Right,
Would that be true?
yes,
And
that's,
that only applies to projects greater than 440 gallons.
okay, so I stand corrected again, we'll take that 75 off.
I mean, really?
Yep, no, I wanna be consistent, so technically all he owes us then is 150.
Yeah, this is the first time we've applied the new fees. I wanna make sure we
Okay.
get it right.
I'll correct that.
And then I have one question though about this.
Sure.
The address is 333 Weymouth Street.
333, 335, 330.
Yeah, there are currently two projects.
Well, he owns two lots.
Yeah, and I just wanna differentiate which this is.
This
Is
would be
it-
333.
So he has one project noted as 327-333 Weymouth,
Right.
and he has another project noted as 333-343.
This project is 333, 343.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve his permit for connection, with the fees of $150 for the application fee only. And that is to be consistent with our new schedule. Do I have a
Second.
Second, all in favor, Mrs. Ross?
Yes.
Ms. Valley?
Yes.
And Mr. Hashion's a yes, so I will notify him that it's $150. He's gonna love it, it went down from $40,000.
Yeah.
How'd it go for 40?
So, Sherry, while we're on billing and, I would like to ask the board for approval on something, I missed it last week. I've been doing a lot of printing and publications for the department, Lou was superintendent, and ink and paper are getting steep, and I was wondering if I could get reimbursed for some ink that I had to buy for my printer.
I make the motion.
at a
okay?
cost of $93.49.
I made the motion.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms.
Yes.
Okay, I abstain. There is a receipt, you can go over that with Robin.
Am I going to jail?
Yeah, damn right. you
Make
don't
sure I
leave
got
it.
windows.
Okay, I'm gonna hold on to this.
I wanna get over to Roxbury, we can't, Roxbury will go by anyway, so.
I want to go over some items here that I think you may be interested in. First, I'm gonna start with the I removal. I asked for an update as of April 7th. To date, this SSES study identified in this section of the study, 10,258 linear feet. To date, they have examined 2,538 linear feet, which is about 25%. The SSES study, in that, what they looked at for that, had identified 39,800 gallons of INI. They're shooting for a 50% removal, which would be 20,000 gallons. To date, they've actually removed 5,000 gallons, 5,900 gallons to be exact. They've worked approximately 15 days, which is 19% of the contract, and they still have 56 days remaining. Now, we did some math, Frank and I, projecting that out. If it was gonna go, the original scope was to get 119,000 gallons of INI out. Now they're projecting, based on the numbers we're looking at, it's only gonna be a total of 112,000 gallons of INI. And that's unless, provided they don't hit a big flow.
In total.
So, hopefully we're gonna get a better yield than what they're looking at. So far, they've sealed a bunch of laterals, they have not done to the line, they have not done any of the lining work. Okay, got that, the digester piping. The digester piping bid has all been approved by Weston Sampson. I received an email on the,
What do you mean it's been approved?
well, they've gone through their section of they're getting ready to release the bid for scope work.
Okay.
Here's what they need, still a list of questions regarding qualification. They need a material lead time from Wilkinson. Now, when I say a contractor's name, it does not mean they got the job. Wilkinson happened to be the company that did the digester work, and they've offered to help look at us to make up for some delayed times, to help us with finding materials and working with licenses. Okay, they need material time to locate the piping. They estimate a 3-week construction time would be required. And that's 150 days for shop drawings, material lead time, and construction for the total project once we pull the trigger. They need a cost estimate so they can get it out to bid. That's where we're hung up now.
When you say a 3-week lead time, what does that mean? From contract to start of work?
Before we award the bid.
Wait a
Permit.
minute, I'm sorry. 3-week lead time from when to when?
Okay, we need a 3-week per lead time, for him to get us the spec on the material lead time. He's trying to trace some of that down.
Okay.
They needed a total of 150 days for shop drawings, material lead time, and construction. We're done with the shop drawings, we need 3 more weeks for the lead time, and then it's the construction. Then it goes out to bid, we need a cost estimate bid for the advertising that Weston Sampson will give us. Permit issues, we're still waiting to hear from the town plumbing inspector. We have to confirm that the town is responsible for the following: to apply for the variance with the state plumbing board for approval of the pipe material. That I have to work on because I think that should come from the engineering firm.
What's the variance?
project requirement for any project requirement the contractor needs to be aware of? No, that's got a question mark. So here's the schedule. For 2023 by 4 p.m., they wanna publish that out into the bid register. 4/26, they estimate it should appear on the central register. On May 3rd, we're gonna have a walkthrough at 2 p.m. here at the wastewater treatment facility. Sherry, I'll give you this.
Okay.
And
That's fine.
on May 17th, we plan on opening the bids.
No, you can keep that, that's all right.
No, I got a copy at home I can print out just in case you need it.
No, I'm good.
The generator, I just got off the phone with Veolia. That is in the hands of Chris Kenny to approve the contract language. We still have not heard back from the town electrician who was supposed to have reviewed the specs. So that's where that is. That was supposed to go out this Friday. So I asked Chris to see if he can
Is that gonna
expedite it.
Okay.
is that gonna be permanently in the ground, or is that gonna be on wheels?
It's gonna be on a skid, permanently mounted, but it'll be on a skid. It can be lifted and trucked around. That is gonna be an ARPA.
Yes, it is part of the ARPA. When you say the contract language, do we have a contract already?
We have a contract, I sent you a copy. What I didn't want, I sent it to you this afternoon,
Oh, okay,
okay? What I didn't want was a bunch floating around like last time.
yeah.
So you have a
Oh,
rough
that's
idea
the
of
one
the
you
draft.
referred to with the
Okay,
draft.
Right, you'll have the draft now with the specs.
Did we put this out to bid? Did this go out to bid?
No, not yet, that's what
Oh.
we're getting ready to do.
Oh, okay.
So once he
Alright,
approves the
sorry.
language, it can go out
Then
to
it goes,
bid.
okay,
So hopefully, I wanted it this Friday.
okay.
So that's what that is.
How big of a generator did they get?
Oh, they got the 500 kilowatt that they wanted. I mean, it's everything they put out the spec, that they put on the spec. I don't recall the numbers offhand.
It'll be the same size what that's out
It's the
there.
exact same size. And more than enough. The only other thing I can add is that today is the first day I've seen the flow below 3. It's been 3.5 up since I don't recall. It's at 2.7 now. There is a problem with the effluent flow meter, so that may not be accurate. Dandel came in and excavated the pit back there. Remember, there was some turbulence causing misreadings on the flow. So we think the 2.6 is not accurate. It is up around 3. But they have to work that out.
Is this the new meter we just put in?
Right. They put the flow meter in because what the problem is there's a 30-inch main at the discharge point from the Cascades that goes out. Now that's a man-made brook. So what they did is they cut the pipe right off at the beginning of the brook. Well, what you have is you have the force of all that water coming out from the Cascades, hitting the flow meter, and those bubbles are raising hell with the accuracy. So we thought we'd dig the pit further, which then I brought up the question, but it's still gonna hit and it's gonna retract. I think the pipe's gotta go further out. So they came in today, as soon as they came in, they were in yesterday morning working on it, and they kind of are leaning that way too, that they need some kind of, come up with some kind of extension or something. They have no idea how to get an accurate reading on that flow meter now, the way this is constructed. If we change the piping, that means we've got to excavate from the Cascades out, which you're talking a big cost. So what I've asked them to look at is to funnel that down, come into a channel to maybe, progressively lower to a 10, from a 30 to a 20 down, and see if we can run that pipe further out. It's still going into the same brook.
Yep.
And measure it with like a paddle wheel type
I
before.
didn't get that. Could you try it again?
I'll talk to you later, honey. A paddle wheel type, so as it's dropping, before it drops it can get, so that's what we're looking at. But the algorithms for the software are going amok because of all the turbulence. So and again, that's a requirement of our NIPTES permit and one of the EPA conditions.
How far do we go out back, we own?
That, from that fence all the way about to French's Stream is man-made. That's just an excavated brook that they built when they did the plant. But what they did is they just, no one knew this stuff, it wasn't bad engineering.
Yeah.
I mean,
What?
they just did a 30-inch main.
Yeah,
Well, it's just 30 and it's dropping into the brook. Well, they can't read it in the brook because
I know.
it's caught, so they thought they could go deeper with a riprap in the bottom. And it's still, you got the impact of, it's bubbling back up, you know, because it's gonna hit and come up. So that's a lot of water going out. So the only other thing that I asked them to do is look at that. We're not gonna be able to dig another brook or another pond back there. So.
No, not anymore.
No, because that would be, now you're talking Mass DEP, you're talking Concom, you're talking like a horror, so get back to square one.
And people with the meter didn't see this.
Evidently didn't take it into consideration.
I think the way you're saying funnel it down, hitting it downstream a little bit,
I think that's the only way, and if some part of it, not a 90-degree angle, because the water, was what they call slant, which is like, you know, airlock, it'll just hit. But if they come out with like what I'm saying, what I asked them is come out like with a 20, funnel down to a 10, or even an 8, and put a paddle wheel,
on the bottom of it.
and have that react to it, that may, rather than having transducers in there, I don't know. But, you know, they're the engineers, it's their contract.
I'm just kind of disappointed it's not functioning correctly. It's brand new.
And it's been since, November.
Yeah.
Now,
Welcome to our world.
this works up front here, right? It's showing it's 2.7, 2.8.
Right, no, right now they got that switched over to out there, so
Not to
now they're
that.
gonna go back and come,
Back
and
to
once they
the
go
old one.
there, it's gonna go
It's
higher.
going higher.
Yeah.
So the low reading really is beneficial to us, but it's definitely not accurate.
Yeah.
But if we record that, you know, that's Rick's license.
I think they should have both recorded.
I
Well, they're
agree.
supposed to record both, that's what they're supposed to, but all we need to do is record our effluent,
Right, but
but it's all over the place.
it's not good.
Okay, the last thing I have for me was, I asked Robin to get me the contact information of the gentleman at 968 Union Street. He's the gentleman that tore down the house
Mhm.
and capped the pipe without us
Mhm.
seeing, so I'm gonna send him a letter, asking who the drain layer was that involved, and basically telling him I want that excavated and examined. And we're gonna pull his connection. Do we wanna have Robin in now to go over hers, or do you wanna do our stuff first, or?
She's not in the office. Keep going.
Okay, so we're in okay, we got that down here. Okay, the next thing I have on my agenda is address the comments made at the Board of Selectmen's meeting on 4/4/23. Lori, again, in my opinion, made some wild accusations on the toxic environment on the superintendent's position. Wanted to know why we haven't recovered the 67,000, or where do we stand with the 67,000? She took a shot at why we refunded Primrose, which is a real sore spot, and on the superintendent's salary, what we have spent to date. I have asked to appear at a meeting of the Board of Selectmen. I wanna get on their agenda and address them one-on-one. I've sent in a request last week, I didn't hear, which I'm sure they wanted to wait till after the elections. I didn't hear today, so I sent in another request. If not, I'm gonna address it in a formal letter, especially the issue on the toxic environment, the 67,000 and Primrose. But I'm gonna ask her, are you satisfied with the salary issue?
The salary issue of,
What we have spent? She said we're over 30,000.
that was addressed previously.
Okay.
Yeah, that, you know, Ms. Childs is not presenting the facts correctly. And she's doing so in a manner that really defames this board.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I think it's in an appropriate manner, and it needs to be addressed by somebody. She states that she was not appointed as the sewer liaison. So I think she should stop referring to herself as the sewer liaison. She consistently and continually defames the board. She's not acting in a cooperative manner. I have a draft letter set up that addresses each of those points that she made at that meeting. And each point that she brought up was incorrectly stated by her. And I just want to put it on the record that her most egregious statement was made on March 29th. She was a town official at a meeting of multi-town groups, and she referred to this department as an SH you-know-what show. And I just think that that is completely unacceptable and cannot be allowed any longer. And I'm asking that she cease and desist with this defamation. It's just gotta stop.
I'm wondering if we should ask for take legal action, to be honest with you. That's one of my things I wanted to bring up.
If she doesn't stop, yes.
My problem is that I think it'd be a whitewash if we go to the town council. Again, I'm gonna bring up, my question is, I see no reason why we don't hire outside counsel. We have that right to do so. To do that, I think we should have a minimum of $10,000 to $20,000 in a legal fee. It gives us wiggle room to do that.
Okay.
But if she doesn't cease and desist, and what I'm taking as a real, I think is an insult, is by the chairman of the Board of Selectmen not stopping her, letting her go on when he knows those are wrong facts.
I can't
And I'm wondering,
disagree.
where is town council stopping this?
You know,
If it
I
were
think,
us doing that, I can assure you, he would have been right up our ass.
I mean, town hall and the sewer department have been working in a very collaborative and professional manner, and I would like to see that continue.
I also would, but she's ruined it.
Miss Childs is incapable of participating in that fashion.
I would also like her to cease from even investigating grants. That's why we have Viola
You know-
right PS, because she's just using that to tout her own horn.
If she has an idea for a grant and would like to forward it, I'm always open to ideas and suggestions. But this vendetta she has against the department has got to stop. It's counterproductive. I think it's an embarrassment to the town, and it's not doing the residents any service.
No, unfortunately, she's taking quite a hit. I mean, she's embarrassing herself, but I agree with you that I think she crossed the line when she did that at the, in Weymouth.
That's completely unacceptable.
What's she doing with it?
She referred to the sewer department as a shit show. Now, should we formally ask Clifford to look into it, which, again, I think it'd be a whitewash. But I think it'd be the right thing to do.
I think it's up to Mr. O'Laughlin to address the problem. This is on his board. And I'd like to give him that opportunity.
I think she should be censored, to be honest with you.
She certainly owes this department, and she owes the residents an apology.
I
And
agree.
then she needs to stop with the nonsense.
All right, well, I will see where this, like I said, if I don't hear an email returned by tomorrow afternoon, I will call Doug Lap Thursday, and we'll draft a letter accordingly.
Mhm.
Do you think it should go as far as the state ethics? I mean, when she went out of town
It's
with
not-
that, I think,
It's not a conflict,
violation.
it's not an ethics violation. It's just poor behavior,
how about it is, but how about the Inspector General?
perhaps. I'm not fully familiar with how that goes. I think right now it should be directed to Mr. O'Laughlin. It's his board, it's his board member, he's the chairman.
Well, that whole evening was an abomination, because I don't know how she got away with plugging a candidate for selectman on that board in an open meeting.
Well, her comments that evening towards the sewer department were just false.
Absolutely, they're false.
They were inflammatory. I don't know why she's doing that. But it's gotta stop, because it's not helping us, it's not helping the town.
Well, my peak ire was when she brought up Primrose, like, we threw away $130,000.
I know, and then she insinuated that we were asking for $127,000. And we are not, and if she had read the article, or asked anyone that has any knowledge about it, they could have explained that to her.
And she knows why
So
we
she-
returned the money at
Of
Primrose.
course she does. Of course she does.
Would've
I
been
think she
sure-
owes the board a public apology.
Absolutely.
Well,
And
I think
anybody
it's
that
in, I
knows me
think it's
knows
in
it
this,
takes a lot to get me upset.
yes, and I think,
it's just,
no, it was wrong. I
It's
mean,
just
I bit my
upset.
tongue too. I replied the next day that I wanted to get on their agenda. Well, we'll see where Mr. O'Loughlin takes it. He knows, cause he was CC'd that I wanna get on the agenda. So, let's let that go.
I'll hold this letter until.
No,
you-
I think you should send it.
You think? Okay, I will.
I make a motion that Sherry send her letter.
I will.
Do I have a second?
Second
All in favor?
one. Aye.
I will do
Wait a
so.
minute, do I have a second on that motion?
You
Second.
make
I
the
will
motion.
second it.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah,
And yes, it's unanimous.
I will send it.
On that, I would CC, Liz Landry, town clerk.
I'm also sending it, of course, to Mr. O'Loughlin and
Mr. O'Loughlin, Mr. Lapp,
Mr. Lapp.
and Mr. Clifford.
Okay. Will do.
We've come a long way in the relationship and she's ruined it, that's what.
We
the sad
have,
part.
we have, and,
Okay,
yeah,
let's
I've been
get
very
off of that,
pleased with it.
nothing. Next on the agenda, I wanna discuss municipal development fees. I think this is really, really important that we come down this month with a game plan on how we wanna do that. I'm gonna be asking for a joint meeting with water, and that's gonna be one of the items. They also are talking about assessing fees. I don't know how they're looking at doing, but I'd like to have us come up with a general concept of how we wanna handle it. My feeling is if we do address and do assess municipal fees, I really think 25% should go into the repair section or the general funds for sewer, and 75% of those fees go into I&I repair. That's just mine, or even a third, 2/3 and a third. And again, these numbers I'm bouncing, I'm looking for feedback. I think we're beyond the fact of time, and I think water realized it too, that we can't give it away any longer. We are in more dire straits than they are as far as connections. Honestly, I'm sticking to my guns, I don't see any major developments coming into town for 2 years until we get a handle on this I&I. And again, it's gonna get worse before it gets
I
better.
mean, so you're not gonna see big, operations coming in or anything.
Again, but we have to do something because it's also hitting our revenues. Now,
Right.
what we did not project, and Sherry, you correct me if I'm wrong, in revenues, did we project any growth?
No?
No, we did not project growth, okay, so that's really not gonna affect the user rates now. What's gonna affect those user rates if we have a major equipment failure or we have a major break.
Right.
So again, I really think we're at the place in time that we have to assess municipal fees. I think we have to do it, have it all ironed out. Let's forget water, but we have to have our plan ironed out so they can present it at the next town meeting, even if it's a special meeting. Because these are gonna have to take effect in FY '25.
They're gonna come right back at us, the taxes on this building.
It's a tax, but you know what, they're a user as well. We're taxing the users.
Yeah.
And they're gonna say, they're gonna turn around, I don't know how they're gonna word it. I know there's gonna be an uproar. But unless they can say, okay, we're gonna give you $500,000 a year out of general funds, that's the only way around it that I can see. We need more money from the town guaranteed. We cannot depend on grants or loans.
I'm not opposed to the municipal fees. I'd like to keep it in line with what I would call an industry norm. I don't know what other towns.
I'm looking
Or
at
how
based on
they
basic
assess
user
it.
rates.
I think a basic user rate is probably the first step to take on that. You've run the numbers and clearly that they are a big user and we are absorbing the cost of treating that usage.
Now, what we're also absorbing the costs on is if there's any I&I on those sites. That should be their responsibility. If they got I&I problems up to the main, that's up to the school department and the town,
That's the same as a homeowner with a
right,
rental.
to repair them. And I find it hard to believe with the volume of water that we're seeing coming into this facility over the past year is not directly attributed to that new school.
But we have a plan to look at that and
We're going
make
to
that
look at it.
assessment.
Right now, the water level is so high there, we can't look at it till
Can't do
July,
that.
so.
Why is the water level so high there? Oh, it's a river.
Well, they don't know if it's the I&I issue, but you put a foundation in the ground, the water's gotta go somewhere. It's found a way.
Splashing,
And
yes.
it's coming right into I think it's coming into this plant. We've had two major, well, I'm not even major constructions since 21. Primrose School and the high school, and the elementary school. Somewhere has disrupted the water severely.
I think if we do that, I wouldn't want to commit to 25% for this and 75% I&I, but perhaps just its own accounting fund for, maybe some specific purposes, but I don't wanna be locked in, because,
okay, that's a good point.
something
Yes.
blows up around here, we need to be able to access those funds.
Well, okay,
The plan would be to use them for I&I, but I don't wanna limit ourselves.
no, and that's a good point, but if you read the bylaws in Massachusetts General 40N, we have the right to move funds around. I don't know if you'd wanna create, I can't say this in public meeting
Its
because
own
my
account.
wife may see it, we
Its
have
own
a
account.
slush fund.
No, its own account, yeah. I don't know, and that's gonna depend on.
One thing I do wanna point
I
out
mean,
that,
wouldn't it just be considered revenue though? And really just be part of
it'd be
our
revenue, yeah, it'd be
It's
revenue.
Just like any other user, so.
One thing I wanna make
That
sure
would
that
be
the
budget
residents
line.
know is that we are not looking, the last ones we wanna gouge are you, the residents. What we are doing is to try to come up with means so it's not to gouge you, to take the pressure off.
Mhm.
And again, I wish there was more participation than just from Mr. Egan. I would like to see more residents participate to give us some ideas instead of hearing it on the end, but we're open for suggestions. But how do you want, I think I'm gonna leave this on the agenda till we come
Yeah,
up with
keep it
the
on the
points.
discussion until we,
And we can maybe
fine-tune it.
keep bouncing it, but I'm looking probably the second week in May to have a meeting with water.
okay,
Abington Sewer wanted to join in, but I'm gonna ask, Crystal to hold off until we have our first initial with water.
Okay.
Until it's until we have a game plan and some kind of relationship established. And again, it may just be the Rockland side of the water, or, I don't know.
I mean, cause they get what do they give them, 100,000 gallons a week? or a
Oh.
day?
minimum, at least, yeah,
Municipal school,
yeah,
To,
yeah. this is
Abington,
110.
110.
110,
They might go over too. Well,
what I'm
They
looking
have
at
access
is
to
that they
capacity in
use,
Rockland.
oh really?
they use 43,000 gallons a day.
get in on
That's 1,724 gallons a school year. Just the school system alone, with no I&I, rough numbers, minimal, and I didn't even go the whole hog, is $82,000 a year in user fees just the school. Now you tack on the potential I&I that I'm going, Dave had assumed that there was 139,000 gallons a day of I&I. I went on the assumption of 100. So that's another $258,000 a year that we're treating.
Well, that's it, they got a big problem.
They do have big problems up there. Again, Pat Brennan's watching it, and they're aware that they're responsible for it. So I need you guys to really keep thinking and browbeating that municipal fees, because I think that's one of the only ways we're gonna be able to dig out. We can't, and it's gonna bounce back into the residents, but unfortunately, the board, it's in my opinion, the board of selectmen have got to come up and say, when all these projects come up, say, look, we can't afford it, can you afford it? That's where that is. Okay, ordinance, Sherry, where do we stand on the ordinance?
That's going to town meeting.
Huh?
We have to wait till that gets to town meeting.
Okay, but I kept that on there.
I
Okay,
didn't know if you had- I
accounting.
didn't know if you had a question about that.
Yeah, accounting. You're on.
Accounting?
Yeah.
So I sat with Robin this week, we talked about documentation for ARPA funds. We have a checklist
I
that we,
like that checklist.
that we put together. We went through her files and mine and came up, filled out what we could. So I think, I'm hoping that you have some of this documentation.
You tell me what
Or-
you need.
Okay, I can,
Can you give me a list and I'll go through it?
I was gonna say, why don't I run a copy of this checklist and then you figure, you can fill
You
in
tell me
whatever
what you
you have.
tell me what you have,
Um,
and I'll get it.
Yeah, and it's just the basic documents that we started and that I keep asking about, going to the bid and so forth, but what it's gonna do is just put everything in one place.
So I'm gonna be
Yeah.
getting one of these for each project.
Yes,
Okay,
each
you give me one
project
for each project with the name on it, and I'll give you everything I have.
I will make a copy of these afterwards and get them to you.
Okay.
Now, you said we have a bunch of, people in the wind that have permits out on us. Are
Oh,
those-
I didn't bring that up, thank you. I'll wait till Sherry's done, and I'll
That's,
bring
no,
that.
that's really all I had for accounting.
Okay, I have not, we can check with Robin, I have not heard back from 365 Conkey,
That was my,
and I have not heard back from Beechwood Estates.
now, according to the letter, 365 Concord, their permit connection expired on March 30th.
We gave them till they come into the meeting, so they had,
When are they coming in though? We haven't-
they're on for the 20th of this month.
Are they? Okay,
And
so I need
if
to
they
find
don't,
that.
their permit expires April 21st.
Okay,
Okay, and that, if it does expire, they want the new fees.
They go for the new fees, and I told them, even if they, if the way the letter reads, is that we can hold their position open, but it's all pending, they need to pay the new fees. Now, I'm gonna send them a letter, and I don't know why we haven't heard. I have a feeling I do, but I don't wanna say it,
All right. so do we know they're coming in for the April 20th?
they were notified by letter.
Okay. All
I'll
right,
follow up with a follow-up, and I'll say I'll do, matter of fact, I'll do that as a follow-up.
And you said there was others too that were in 5 or 6 years back, haven't done nothing.
well, the letter says, if you wish to pursue this matter, confirm this request for a hearing. If you do not wish to accept this extension offer, your permit to connect expires on March 30th.
That's the old one, but it was extended
Yeah, that's-
April,
you're invited to attend the hearing on April 20th.
yeah. Well, I should change that to April, I thought I changed that too.
And perhaps you did. Okay, so that's April. Okay. Give me time.
But if not, they lose their place on the waiting list too, and that's, but
Yeah,
I do not think we should throw that flow open until we get our flow down.
well, right now we
Yes.
don't have anything open.
Okay, that.
And we have not heard from Beechwood either,
I have not heard from Beechwood. I don't expect to hear from Beechwood, to be quite honest with you.
so, all right.
Which one's Beechwood?
They're, with the mobile home park, and they were putting in a bunch of units. They were originally approved for 50 units, they only put in 35 or 30, something of that
Is that
nature.
on Beach Street?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it, and then it was, went into legal mumble jumble, but they've had that permit since April of 2010.
Yeah.
Can't hold them up forever. Now, that leads us into an interesting discussion. Say they don't, do we allow in 320 where we approved him? And get rid of our waiting list?
We don't have the flow to allow them in. Well, anybody,
I know that we don't.
so,
I mean, the next one is the guy
They
down
want-
here in.
The next one will be, the next one on the waiting list is, if they don't apply, then the only ones we have are, 320 Concord Street, the 4 condos, and, Manzella Court.
Yeah,
Manzella
yeah.
Court can connect anyway, he's under the limit. Well, let's go into a very interesting one then, superintendent.
did you see Stacy sent us?
Yes,
an
I
email?
did, I asked her to send that out.
Okay,
When we get resumes, and it's up to us to screen them, if we wanna talk to the person, then we discuss them in open meeting. If we don't, we could just put them on file for later, which is how I wanna treat one of them. I do have one that seems to be of interest, and you both, I don't wanna say his name out loud.
no,
You both saw the resume. What's your feeling, you wanna talk to him? Okay.
now my question, do we want to revisit the
Last
duties
candidate?
and the last, well, that too, the last
Yep.
candidate. But we had put together, a draft job description that we were still tweaking. Do we wanna revisit that and maybe prioritize what exactly we're looking for?
I would love to do that.
Okay,
How about each of us, can you send us each that out again fresh?
yes,
Dan, I'm gonna ask you to open your email.
I didn't get Stacy's email, I got
Okay.
your email.
It's gotta be in there.
I mean,
Hopefully,
it came in,
I was, you know what, I'll send it to Robin and I'll have her print it,
because
pick it up.
what the problem is it might have gone to my inbox, and I didn't check my inbox.
okay, go to your inbox.
Cause I got a sewer box, and I got a junk box.
Okay, go to, whatever it is, check them to make
Yeah.
sure, because what I'd like to do is maybe, let's knock that off, let's make it a goal to knock that off the next meeting if it takes an hour.
Mm-hmm,
In the meantime, I'd like to get this gentleman in and talk to him.
mm-hmm,
I'll reach out to him and ask, I'd like to ask him a couple general questions anyway. But I'll have Stacy reach out to him and tell him we'd like to speak to him in the near future, so he stays interested.
Yeah.
Looking at it, I'm probably also gonna send it to Rick to look at,
yeah,
cause it may be something in his bailiwick that if we're not, it could be something real advantageous to him.
mhm,
But he seems to have some things that could take a little pressure off our back. But that also goes, I'd like to come back and revisit the other gentleman.
mhm. And that's why I think it's important that we prioritize, what exactly do we really need? What is our, must have,
All right, then
nice to have,
here's what
wish
I'd like
have.
to do. Why don't we have a meeting next Tuesday, and if we can't come to resolution on it, let's have another one next Thursday
okay?
to hammer that out.
Because-
Because next Thursday night's our monthly meeting too, I believe.
Oh, I think you're right. Today's the 11th.
It is, next Thursday night's our monthly meeting.
Is it a Zoom meeting?
It's a Zoomer.
Cause now the other people have gone Zoom, back to Zoom.
No?
Okay.
They have or they have not? They have
Haven't.
not?
I think no, the only one I know of that has not is ZBA.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think that's,
That's something we can decide, if you wanna do our monthly meetings like this, let's knock that off save that for the 20th. That way, if we get some public opinion, people decide to show up.
okay.
Go ahead, do I wanna say something, but I don't?
I know you do.
No,
Anyway,
so, all right, I will take care of that.
yeah,
And
but I definitely want,
I'm gonna ask Robin to print that out, and you can pick up a printed copy and you can draw on it. And
I want you to do that and ask her if she wants to come on in, we can get Robin on,
Yeah.
give you a record. Did you get out and vote?
Did I vote?
Oh, you ready?
I saw Sherry.
I thought it was a terrible turnout, 1,800 people.
very low.
You know, and they gotta, people should realize that, in a small town like this,
You still sick?
this is the purest form of
I don't-
democracy.
no,
You
I'm
got,
not
you
sick.
got
Okay.
input
I
to
just
what
sneezed.
affects you.
Okay,
A lot of things.
just checking.
But I talked to a number of people, they didn't even know the election was on.
Sad, I don't wanna blame them. All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Miss Robin Day, aka Fred, who will now like to tell us all about the marvelous thing she's doing.
Right? Alright, so, Barry Ashton, he's the gentleman at 252 Beach Street.
Yep.
He was concerned about drainage running adjacent to his property, that it was moving slowly. David Taylor went up there and did a walkthrough. I think his concern was that there was heavy equipment that had compacted the ground, so he thought it diverted that. David has a meeting with National Grid. He walked the area and he touched base with Barry Ashton. I think he left him a note or a message and didn't hear back from him, so that's ongoing.
So it's pending Mr. Ashton's response.
And then David Taylor is gonna provide a summary of Beach Hill. He actually said he would send it over this morning, but he probably hasn't gotten to it yet. What is this? Oh, this is just the correspondence from John Laughlin. I think I can take that out. This is done. That was from last week. Just to let you know about the Center Ave manholes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I will, you know,
Did we ever contact District 5?
I don't have a contract.
I don't either, I didn't, no, I did
Right,
not.
Because,
I think Chuck said he was gonna
I
contact
did,
David.
and I did not.
okay.
I'll write that down
Yeah,
right
that
now.
was a big open question.
So, today's 4/11? Today's
Yes.
date? Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry about that, I did forget that.
It was a different color for different things. Robin,
Sometimes.
is it purple, is it green, is it yellow?
District 5,
I totally forgot about that.
alright. The addition to 333 Weymouth Street, Chuck has the drawing of the lateral. Are we good to go on that?
We're good to go, we voted to approve.
Yes.
One thing I wanna bring Robin up to speed in the fees,
Approved.
you have it?
No, you haven't. I only have,
Move
Where
it.
is
I
it?
only have email.
That was today, the vote to approve?
Today.
Yes, that's all he owes, really.
Is this the guy that's putting in the toilet?
Yep.
That's exactly what I agree with too. So I'm gonna call him about that check.
Yep,
Does he know that yet?
no,
You want me to let him know that?
sure.
Alright.
129,000.
There's no Title V requirement for a toilet. Is that what you all talked about and decided? Yeah, okay.
Title V.
No, we just said that, came up with the fees, it didn't match up to what we had changed to.
Well, you know what I think got us off track? His engineer supplied us with that number for
375,
375, but it included the 300 already existing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Alright, so 91 Josh Gray Road has a ZBA hearing on Tuesday, April 18th.
Oh, where does that have to go to that?
They are planning a second-story, three-bedroom addition, which, if granted, will make the house a six-bedroom, three-bathroom home. I forwarded this to you guys earlier.
Yes.
When is the hearing?
Next Tuesday, he said, and he's, April 18th. So Rob's reaching out to see if you have any comments. I sent you the architectural plans and other, if you need larger documents, they're on the town website. It's all in the email, so if you can just get back to me so I
Yep.
can let him know. Do you know when I can expect comments?
You'll have mine by Thursday.
Does that
I'll
work,
send them to you and you can forward them to him.
that work for you guys too?
Mhm.
That changes the scope of the project, right? Because it's over the 440?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, alright.
Well, the 3 bedrooms was 330.
He's adding them to a three-bedroom home, so he's
Yeah.
turning it into a six-bedroom.
Yes.
So if he was adding
Do-
one bedroom,
but-
he would have hit the limit of 440. But he's adding three.
Right, but He
To the-
already has 3 bedrooms.
Doesn't
It's the
mean
same
he's-
unit though,
Existing.
he's not,
Same unit.
he's not adding a unit.
I
That's
mean,
true though, if he was
But
adding a
he's
unit,
already,
he'd be
he's-
under the radar.
so, right, he's,
You are
we
right,
are already
he's already,
handling the flow.
yeah, he's already got it,
So it's
right.
not
He's
new
on it,
flow.
he's on about 440 additional.
Correct.
Right, so that's kinda tricky, cause you'll have to address that with your other, in the
Well,
moratorium.
it's
what do
gonna
you
be-
say?
Well, it's
We're
all-
gonna have
it
to
has
address
to
that in
be-
the rules of regs or the moratorium, correct? We're
Is
gonna
that
have
gonna
to
have 2 more bathrooms too? Or one
It's
more?
all based on bedrooms.
That's on flow.
Yeah,
Flow.
The
bedrooms
flow
and
is
100
connected to the bedrooms, 110 gallons, but the issue is, if you
But
came
we
in
should
and
only
were
be
gonna
looking
put
at
in,
new flow.
if he was gonna add another, a new building,
Oh,
a new
yeah.
unit to that with 330 gallons, he'd be under the radar. But it's one unit with 6 bedrooms, puts him in a weird spot that we haven't addressed before.
But
But
it's
all it's
not
down to is
6 is
additional
not
flow.
the new flow, only 3 is
It's
the new flow.
330 is the
But
new
we have to
flow.
watch how we word that now, that's gonna have to go into the
Mhm.
moratorium.
Yeah.
6 bedrooms.
Okay, I can edit
Like
that.
a dorm.
Wow.
Like a dorm there.
Wow.
Alright, so,
Alright, so that was 9.
well, let me put another one there.
How many
Alright, so you're
bedrooms
gonna look at the
How many
more.
bedrooms you putting on?
1.
Alright, so this is an email from Chuck that you sent us today. You sent them to Chris Kenny and the town electrician, and I think it was,
That is on the generator.
yeah, it's the bid for the generator. But I think it was supposed to go to Doug Lapp. Did you send it to him as well?
Doug has got a copy, yes.
Okay, cause he's the procurement officer,
Right,
and
it
I
went,
think he's the one that will put the,
Doug has a copy, but he had a copy originally, but we still haven't heard from Chris or the town electrician. Doug was gonna talk to him, the electrician, to get, have him move on it. Doug does have a copy of it, bottom line, sum it up.
alright, so who's following up on it then, Doug?
I guess, I just sent it to him, I said, I'm waiting to hear back from Chris before I start
Yeah, 'cause
saying anything.
I don't know how that workflow goes either. I
Okay.
was assuming it
I'll
goes
I'll follow up with Doug to see if he would lead on that and let me know how he wants to follow that.
Yeah, cause he's the procurement officer, so I wasn't sure how that goes.
Alright, I'll find out, I gotta call him now.
Maybe,
Ready
maybe
for-
you'll end up getting a response if you do that.
Okay.
Did you invite Eric to today?
No, he didn't, I told him he didn't have to wait, once I got that email from, did I give you a copy of the email?
No.
Did I give it
This
to you?
one?
Yeah, I have a copy, let me give you that to Robin. I'll send you another copy.
Who's Eric?
That's
Oh,
the 3.
So Eric Schumacher, he's
333.
the engineer.
Engineer.
Oh,
So
yes.
the concern was that 333
Wayman
Wayman
Street,
Street might be
yeah.
going over the lateral, but they're
Right.
not.
They're not,
Okay,
that drawing is accurate.
perfect. 335 Beach Street, we already spoke to that gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He said he will produce 3 larger prints and bring them down here for you
Mm-hmm.
to see. And just so you know, I can't find the street map. That includes 335 Beach Street. I don't know if it went in after the maps or we don't have a map, I'm not sure. 335 Beach Street is the gentleman that was here earlier,
Yeah,
and I was looking for the as-built,
oh, yeah.
and then I was looking for the street map, and I don't have either for that property to determine where his as-built is. So, at some point,
Maybe when he opens it up, we can,
right, we
Yeah,
might have
go-
to camera it and find out where it's
Right,
at.
yep.
I'll just make that note.
make a note to Cam.
So if you approve the project, I think you'll have to make a contingent on that.
Yeah, I will.
May I suggest a letter sent, put it in writing?
No, we'll put that right on the permit.
Okay.
Right, because I need to send the permit, I need one of you to sign it, that I can approve that permit.
Okay, I'll sign it.
Oh, yeah, you wanna sign this one?
It's coming out of the book, that means it's done.
It's done, I know, isn't it good?
coming out.
We
What
want
do you
that
want?
book to get
Just anywhere on the
smaller.
bottom, approved in today's date, and then I can go on permitize and approve it.
Can you get a
Want me
thicker,
to add that language?
once you get a
Yes,
thicker
please.
book? Can you get a thicker book?
What was that?
Can you get a thicker book?
No, it's getting thinner, it looks like.
Yeah, no, I take some stuff out, goes to the other books, the backup books. Alright,
You're getting green now.
approved permit, and then add language about the camera. Alright, so. Oh, this is pending, I don't know, they didn't have their meeting, I'm assuming, I don't know how many meetings they have a month, but this is,
No, did you talk to Shing on that?
Sorry, hold on, stop. What is pending?
242 Union Street,
242.
and I'm sorry, 0 Pond Street.
0 Pond Street, no, that's a continuous, we have no idea when.
Alright, so we're still waiting on that.
No.
I'm sorry, I
That's
should have
okay.
started with what it was about.
That's,
No.
it's fine.
This is just pending for Veolia.
Can I interrupt you real quick? Have you heard anything on 268 Union?
No, is that the gentleman that was,
Gonna put the apartments next to the town hall.
yep, no, I haven't heard anything from him
Okay.
since he was here. The drain layer application, you were gonna follow up with, Roto-Rooter and
Haven't heard a word, I'm not even gonna chase them anymore.
Alright, cause we're not approving him with
No
his 2
problem.
references.
Not even
Alright.
chasing them anymore. I figure 3 or 4 phone calls is enough.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to make sure I return his check.
My feeling is he was looking for a blanket. Once I said,
Yeah.
that's not a blanket permit.
Mm-hmm.
They can
Chuck
have
will take a
anybody
drive
without
by.
a license.
Oh, so this is 978 Union Street.
No, that's the one oh, 978. If you could get me the, contact information, I'd like to send him a letter, cause I wanted to excavate that
Okay.
capping.
Alright, so I sent that information to you, but you were probably en route here,
Okay.
alright?
I got it.
So I'll leave that as pending.
I'll drop that, matter of fact, I have it drafted, I'll just finalize it tonight, send it to you, you can tell me what edits you wanna make tomorrow. I have the pictures to go with it too,
Okay,
send it to her.
so the manhole at Jefferson School, oh, so
Yes.
when you write the letter, you're gonna send it to me and I'll
I'm
put
gonna
it on the
send it to you,
letter.
right,
Okay.
and you can make your edits and I'll
Alright.
send you the pictures.
So the manhole at Jefferson School, the last time we were together, it was Rick contacted Dandel to go over, take a look at it, and provide a quote, and since then, the job's been done.
How much was it or did it cost us?
I don't remember, but I think I paid them on the warrant.
Oh,
That's
on
at
this
5,
week or
that's at
last
3,
okay.
okay.
They tried to, so an interesting thing happened, it was on school property. And it wasn't really like coordinated with anyone, it was kinda like just up in the air, Dandel went up and did the job. They were doing the MCAS that day, and there was like a half hour of noise, but they got through the noise, and, because the principal wanted them to leave the property, and they weren't quarried. But then David Taylor went up there and said, if you don't let them do the job today, when they can get it done, this is a hazard, you run the risk of getting sued, and the noisy part is already over. Might as well let them proceed, so the principal said, fine, and were able to complete the job, but, so that raises a question, if we're gonna be doing any kind of sewer work on school properties, most of those involve drain layers. Do we want our drain layers to have quarry checks
I don't know, what do you
as a
think of that?
standard, or do you want to, when you have a job like that, just have them quarry checked?
I would have them quarry checked at the time, how do we do that though, how do we
Maybe
control
should-
that?
Maybe they should have
So
their
the
own,
quarry checks can be done through our HR department.
Yeah,
or have them get their own contractor, and make sure they're quarry tested.
no, you can't have them generalized quarry.
That's asking a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Right, and it's our responsibility
How
to
do we
fix.
trigger ourselves to remember when it's on public school, they got to, school grounds that they have to be quarry checked prior to?
Well, I think as to the noise point, we should be reaching out to the school and saying,
Yeah,
We're going to
we can schedule before,
da,
you
da,
can
da.
get a lesson learned.
Yeah,
would have
and then
done
at
that
point,
if we had a superintendent, it would have happened that
Right,
way.
yep.
But Rick just placed a phone call.
Yep.
And then Dan Dell took
I
the ball and ran
understand,
with it,
yeah,
which, you
Which,
know,
you know,
honestly, that
is
was a good
kinda
thing, but.
good, but. Alright,
Alright. Alright, so, this,
I was just thinking of a very bad joke that I would have done in school when that happened, but I can't.
yeah,
Does
and
this-
you're on
does it-
camera there.
I know
Rockland
that, but
School
go ahead.
grounds, does this go into our rules and regs for the
Hmm.
future?
Right, something to think about, that's why
Yeah,
I mentioned it.
Yeah.
I mean, they let the job proceed, but honestly, you should be thinking ahead on that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna wait till she's,
She's misspelling a word. She was misspell check on that.
doesn't matter, can't read it anyway.
alright, so, Rick, I mentioned this in the last meeting, that Rick was concerned about the generator
Yes.
with regard to NLX
Yep.
North, and now he's actually been talking to them, it's currently on hold. They are going to try something new in May, that they might be able to still get the results that they want without shutting down the generator, so we're still in the program for now.
But how much is it gonna cost us? It's still 10?
No, they pay us.
Oh, I
We
like
make
it.
$10,000 a year on it.
Okay, done. If they could do it without shutting it down and powering it up,
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that was the concern about getting out of the program, because it does generate,
it may
it's
not
a
kick
small
on.
amount.
Yeah.
It's a small amount of income, but still.
Yeah, nope, yay. Bless you.
Thank you. And I was we're just waiting for a copy of the approved waiting list. Do we still have one?
We will, I
All right,
have not finished that,
all right.
keep it open.
You have not heard anything from 365 Concord Street or Beechwood?
No, but I spoke to the guy at Beechwood and invited him to a meeting that's
Yeah.
pending, right?
Yep, okay, he is coming 20th, yep.
Yep. That's the
That
one,
was for the
whatever one
big-
you told me to invite him to.
That was the 3:30, I'm
But-
talking about Beechwood Estates. Remember we sent about the permit?
Wait a minute, is
Uh-huh,
Beechwood
yeah.
Estates is the one that has all the undeveloped lots? And his name
Okay,
is
that's
David?
him, okay, my concern, okay, yes, he's
Oh.
coming in,
May 18th, is that true, or is he coming in April?
May 18th.
Whatever day you told me
Yeah,
to invite him,
he's
May
coming,
18th
he's
is the
coming.
day I invited him.
Yep, okay, done.
That's a kind of a weird situation. They don't actually, what they went to court about was who has the right to develop the lots. So the HOA owns the lots now, but the bank has the right to develop them. So even though David is gonna come up here representing the HOA, the bank has the right to develop those properties. That's what was granted in the,
HOA thought,
in
The
the court.
decision, yeah.
but
Yeah,
the
by the
HOA will
court.
have the decision.
Because when they were putting that development in, the developer dropped the ball, lost the contract, didn't finish or whatever. And they
That's what I was-
sued the contractor and they got possession of the lots, but the bank that the contractor was dealing with opposed that in court and they got the right to build the actual buildings.
Because the bank owns the property.
Right, and the bank, if I understand this correctly, the bank's interest is in developing all of the lots, but the HOA only wanted to build some of the lots, right?
Yep.
Okay. Gee, but I can't remember what happened yesterday, I'm surprised I
Boy,
went through that.
Yeah.
Alright. And then the Abington flows, taking some of the Rockland sewer to Brockton, is that dead?
Dead.
Dead. Dyer Street, Pat Brennan was gonna provide us a write-up of
Yep.
closing down the project, do we
Yeah.
have it?
Don't just have his email, he's still chasing him for another reason, I guess. So I'll follow up with Pat next week,
That's not,
I guess is another issue.
that's not a
We don't know what
disaster.
it is?
I don't know what it is, it didn't involve sewer, I didn't wanna know.
Oh, okay.
They were invited into the April 20th meeting.
I'll double check when I get on. I do remember we did invite him
They
now.
invited them here.
oh, this is the decision for Zoom, we're done with that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's getting thinner
You're
there.
having a good day.
right?
You want those paper clips?
What, do you want them? You want a couple of pens to go with it?
I already got those.
It's hard working from home.
The school project, I just have this in there, my last question was, is someone overseeing the project? Chuck H. is overseeing it,
Yep.
Pat Brennan to keep
That
us
Brandon's gonna
updated.
clue me in when they can go back and open up that manhole, yeah.
When they can reopen the manhole?
When they can go, when the flows are down.
Is that where we think the problem with the flow is in town,
That-
the extra water?
That's where I think it is. It has to be somewhere up there. There's just no rhyme or reason for it to be this high, this long.
Alright, and then the update is still works to be done in the second week of May over at Dynavac, where they went over the
Right.
two sewer manholes.
Should I'm gonna follow up on a phone call with her to make sure she reminds, I have her card at home.
Do you want her phone number?
No, I have it at home.
Alright. Carbon monoxide detectors is still pending. The IPP program is still pending. That's the inspection protocol for car washes and dental offices.
Can I just go back one step? Did you get your 2-week schedule for,
I did.
okay.
And I should note on that 2-week schedule, so this is the $90,000 for the police details for the I&I project. They are different, so when I capture the streets where the detail offices are doing the work,
It's not pending, it's not matching up with those, that
it
schedule.
doesn't, but it also says very clearly on there that for various reasons that can change.
Yeah.
So I just want you to know, we have the original from them with what they, where they say they're gonna
Mhm.
be, but I'm capturing where they actually are from the police details.
The problem is if they hit a flow with some snag with the line, they move to the
Sure,
next, so
sure.
they're bouncing around.
I just saw them up on Pond Street. the
They
other
were on
day.
my street, then they said they'd be over somewhere else, and I went over, they're not there, so.
They're on Pond Street, running a cable down it,
Hmm.
and throw it, I don't know what they're doing.
The
Camera.
camera.
That's brand new over there.
I can, well, you can see on Concord Street, they have 2 manholes open and they're snaking.
Or go one down.
Alright, so, the IPP program, is someone gonna follow up with Justin Pimpere on the car washes and the dental offices?
Rick was
the
gonna.
paperwork that we need?
I thought Rick was gonna do that.
He doesn't, he's really not involved with our
Okay.
IPP program, I feel like I say this every
No.
time.
Okay.
It's the superintendent.
Okay, who's
so
the contact there?
Justin Pimpere, I can send you his,
Yeah, do that, and I'll follow up with that, I'll
Alright.
do that. I'm on vacation next week, so this will keep me busy.
that's not really a vacation.
I know.
I've been on vacation for 8 years.
So if I've been, I've seen it.
I used to be on.
Job description, superintendent.
Alright, we are going.
We talked about
We
that
talked
earlier.
about that.
We're gonna
We're going
dedicate
to-
all next week to that. We have one candidate we wanna talk to.
What's next week ending for?
Hmm?
What's the week ending
17?
next week, 7/11?
21.
Next weekend is 7/21, will be Friday.
4/21.
4/21, 7/21, what am I thinking of that?
You can't wait for
Oh, that's my pig roast.
Ah.
Okay, Vermont. Oh, yeah, okay, I knew that was
Pig
it.
roast from
Ah,
Vermont.
yeah.
Yeah,
You'll have all the
What did you
hillbillies
just say,
there.
we have one candidate?
yeah, we're gonna be reaching out to him once we finish the job description.
Did we post the job somewhere? Did I miss something?
No,
Oh, it's not posted. Well, it was posted a while ago, I
it was
think.
posted a while, same thing.
Oh, alright. So no new posting yet.
While we're on job descriptions, did you hear from Stacy on the,
I did.
oh, yay,
I
where do we
did.
stand with that?
So, Stacy has the part-time clerk for Robin. The job has been posted internally,
I saw
and
that.
that has to run until April 17th, at which point she can move it to an external posting. At that point, if there's any resumes from the water department that were interested, we can look
Okay.
at those.
I'm gonna let you two handle that.
I thought the posting was gonna be up to 19 hours, but she posted it at 19 hours. Is that what you wanted?
I thought it was
I
up
thought it
to
was
19.
Yeah,
I thought we were gonna do 14 to 19.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
at least 14, but
Yeah,
up to
it was
19.
15.
It
Can
got
you-
posted at
Can you,
19.
At
can you
19?
edit that?
I didn't look at it right away. Then people started calling me about the opening, and I'm like, what? What's happening? And then I opened the email and saw it.
At 19 hours, and it should be up to.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that today.
Nothing with the location for Baking with Joy yet.
Who?
Baking with Joy up on Center Ave, they closed down. There's supposed to be a Haitian restaurant or market going in. They have a grease trap. So we need to keep on top of that because we would have to inspect the grease trap. And depending on what type of business goes in there, we might have to tighten up the frequency because it's at 6 months for a bakery. But most restaurants are at between 3 months and 4 months, so.
You're saying the restaurant's not in there yet?
Correct. And 48 Carey Street, we haven't heard anything?
Nope.
And 92 rear Josh Gray Road, nothing yet on that either.
No, you just mentioned that. It's going to zoning board or. No, zoning
Yeah, we
board
just talked
Tuesday
about the
the 18th.
3-bedroom, 6-bedroom.
That,
Oh, no, 92 rear Josh Gray, rear Josh Gray Road, there was
Oh.
nothing there, that's the retreat
Oh,
one.
no,
right.
there's
Oh.
nothing there.
Yeah, no, that's.
Nope, nothing there.
Okay, good.
the other one, what was it? The one before this one, was that, Garrity,
Carey Street.
Carey Street?
48
Yeah,
Carey
48
Street.
Carey Street.
That was in the thing for sale.
Right, so the town might purchase the
Town may
lot
purchase
Yeah.
the lots.
on North Ave and Plain Street, and then he would only be able to replace the single family with the existing step.
Because I just asked, because I saw it in the, real estate. 48.
Oh,
258 Union Street, I haven't heard anything, it's still pending. And that's it.
alright.
Okay, so you're gonna take care of that edit?
Yes, I will contact Stacy as soon as I get home. Do we have a department form for expense reimbursement?
There is no department form.
Okay.
Did somebody have an expense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So how this gets reimbursed is I put it on a warrant.
Yep.
To pay you, so what account?
Sundries?
Sundries.
What's that? So I'll take a motion in today's meeting.
Motion to end today's meeting.
I'll take a second.
Second,
All in favor, Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Ms. Valley?
yes.
Chuck's a yes. Thank you very much.